Now let's get into it.
So I'm going to take you through this entire training session from start to finish so that you know how to set up each of the exercises as well as perform them. And I'm also going to share my recommendations on reps and sets and rest periods so that you know exactly what you need to be doing to get the most out of your speed work. So just as we do with every training session, we start with a dynamic warm-up to prime the body, get those tissues ready to take on the demands of the session. And especially when it comes to speed work, you're putting a lot of intensity in each action. So that's putting so much stress on the tissues of the body. So we need to make sure they're warmed up, they have a good blood supply, they're mobile and elastic so that they can really keep up with your performance. If you go into this type of session cold, you have a high chance of coming away from that session with some kind of muscle or tissue injury. So spend a good amount of time, and as you'll notice with my warm-up, there's a few stages of it. We start with a basic dynamic warm-up just to get the body mobile, the blood flowing, and then we increase the intensity
To the session.
So this is the warm-up I'll typically do before my speed sessions. It starts off very similar to my regular warm-up before every technical session, but you'll notice as this warm-up goes on, I start to incorporate a few exercises you might not have seen before here on the channel, because I'm really focusing on activating the areas around the hip flexors, hamstrings, glutes, abductors and adductors, because these are all involved when you're changing direction, you're sprinting. So if you haven't activated these areas, another part of the body is going to overcompensate for those unactivated areas, and that's how you can get muscle strains. And we certainly want to avoid that in these speed sessions because that will keep us off the pitch for a long time. So you might have recognized most of the exercises so far in this warm-up, just a general warm-up to begin with at a low intensity, getting some blood flow around the body, oxygen to all those working muscles, and getting those muscles slightly elasticated. And then as we get through these, you'll see that they start to increase in intensity and start to involve some fast twitch muscle fibers. So starting with some knee drives, working on arm pattern movement as well, because it's important to synchronize your arm and knee drives. You want the alternate arm driving with the alternate knee. And as you can see here, starting to get some spring work in as well, activating the Achilles area, getting nice and bouncy. That's really important for sprinting. And as you can see here, lateral bounds, activating those hip flexors, but also springing off the balls of our feet. Very important to warm up the feet as well. As you can see here, just holding for a second as I land, really activating the muscles around the knees. Then here we go again, another skipping exercise, bit of coordination needed for this one, driving the knees to activate those hip flexors, and then bounding on the opposite foot. Then here's a few extra exercises.
It's going to be a tough session today. It's quite hot as well, so we're expecting to get a sweat on, which should be really good. Let's get into the warm-up. Some people were asking what resistance I use for my bands. I'm going to get into that now. So this is the course I'm pretty much going to be using for most